go off the timeout. Fans on their feet. Which team goes to Foxborough?
I guess zone right now. Virginia really packing it in. They haven't called out numbers and matched up.
Here is Sieverts, the transfer from Butler, watched by Neislick.
It is his own, Dave.
Travis Reed, left-hand cradle, left alone there on that zone. All about trying to make a move toward the cage. Dan Groot. Here's Young. Under 20 seconds. Groot on the right wing. Ryan Young. Top of the box. 10 seconds left. Throws it away. Sieverts couldn't handle it. 7 seconds to go. Is there time for Virginia to squeeze off a shot?
Yes, there is. They have a timeout. They'll talk about their clear.
Timeout called. Virginia timeout.
And they will take a timeout with 7 ticks to go.
Important for the veteran players to go up to Ryan Young right now and tell him, no big deal, it's okay. You see overtime, you need your player like Ryan Young, a freshman, to have confidence. Meanwhile, Dom Starzy's got to create a play. They've got to go 65 yards in 7 seconds. Ball moves quickly up the field. It'll be interesting to see how Maryland rides them, and if Virginia just kind of scraps a standard clearing formation and just heaves the ball towards the goal.
Virginia is 2-0 in overtime games. If you're thinking to the extra session to make that 3-0 this year. Syracuse, Hopkins, and North Carolina. The Syracuse-Hopkins games won by Brian Carroll. Carolina won by Steve Giannone. And Maryland won 3 overtime game loss to Don Zimmerman's Retrievers UMBC. That was back on March 14th, 9-8.
The Carolina game, very similar to this game, in that Virginia was outplayed for the first 45 minutes. And then it was a ferocious finish by the attack. I thought Ben Rubio and Danny Gladden got things going that day. And today was all energy level for Virginia. Sleepwalking through the first half. Lucky to be only down by 2 at the break.
One team moves on to Foxborough, Massachusetts in the national championship weekend. Take on the victor between Syracuse and Notre Dame. That game tomorrow coming your way at 3 o'clock Eastern here on ESPNU, along with Duke, Ohio State. All the coverage of the quarterfinals, the first round on ESPNU. Then we move to ESPN2 HD for the national semis. ESPN, 1 o'clock Eastern time, Memorial Day championship game. Boston triggers play here, only 7 seconds to go. They got to go a long way. Fires a deep outlet, ball loose. Lomedy goes for it. He shoots and sends it just over the crossbar. What a chance to win it for Peter Lomedy. There still is 1 second to go. He came up with a ground ball and fired it just off gauge. Final moments, they will not get off another shot. We will have sudden victory overtime from Annapolis. Wow. This will be the second overtime game of the 2008 tournament. The other, Notre Dame beat Colgate at South Bend 8-7. We'll have another 8-7 final here. The question is, which team hits the road to Foxborough?
Here at the phone company, you've been our customer for a long time. Now Vonage wants to change all that.
Well, over 2 million people have already switched to Vonage.
Oh, really? Don't they miss having phone service?
The rules, sudden victory. Each team gets 1 timeout, 4-minute periods, and we'll go as long, Quint, as it takes for one team to advance to the semifinals.
It's all about making the next play, and the game starts with a face-off. Maryland has won 11 of the 18 face-offs in this game. Brian Carroll has 2 game-winning goals for Virginia in overtime this season. He's been big shot Brian, but he may not even get the ball. He's not guaranteed to touch it if Virginia can't win the face-off. Everything now hinges on this next face-off. Both teams are given 1 timeout.
We spoke with Dom Starcher this week about what it's like to coach in these dramatic games. He had a 1-goal game against UMBC last week in the first round. He said there's nothing quite like it. For the face-off numbers, this is a big draw at the face-off X. Holmes and Garrett Ince, they've gone head-to-head all day. Ince team got the big edge here.
Ince won the initial clamp.
Taken back. Clausen with a long stick. Virginia has possession. They'll take timeout, and they will have a chance to win this game. That is their lone play stoppage in the overtime, at least this first OT. And Dom Starsia, who told us this week how much he loves being in tight games like this. It's why you're in the business, he said to us. Well, you'll have that chance to work some strategy and magic in the UVA huddle again.
Virginia has a lot of options on offense for Dave Cottle. They've shown mostly a man-to-man today. Defensive coordinator for the Terps, Dave Slavkovsky, who's pacing around our hotel for the last 2 days. He's the type of coach who can't sit still. And you know his stomach's churning right now. He's in the middle of that red mess.
Cavaliers have never led in this game. Wouldn't it be sweet for the folks from Charlottesville to have their lone lead be the game winner? Terps are thinking the exact opposite. They want to survive and send the program to another national semifinal appearance. They've won 2 NCAA titles. Last way back in 1975, a 2013 win over Navy. First title to beat Hopkins in double overtime, 10-9 in 1973. Cavaliers have won 4 titles. Last came in 06. So what about the nullified goal, Quinn? Early going fourth quarter, Travis Reed apparently made it 8-6.
This would have given Maryland an 8-6 2-goal lead. The goal's wiped out. A loose ball push, we're guessing. Loose ball push, there's the call. Away, top of your screen, look at Clausen, just freight training. But the ball had been loose. Dave Cottle asking Matt Palin for clarification. Sometimes I feel up here like we're the last to find out about those calls, but they settled it down on the field. The goal was taken off the board. Maryland was given possession.
Here is Rubier behind the cage. Next goal wins. Can Virginia survive? And Rubier double team. Holmes all over him. Works to Gladding.
Good matchup for Virginia.
Van Rubier got a short stick. It's Holmes who takes it from him. Bryn Holmes, big steal. Here come the Terps on the move. It's Farrell with a long stick. He's got 2 already. And a timeout for Maryland. They're drought over 25 minutes without a goal, but they'll have it in the half field thanks to the brilliant play by Bryn Holmes.
You know, you talk about redemption on a lacrosse field, and there's many ways. Bryn Holmes lost the overtime starting faceoff to Garrett Ince. He lost that. He put his head down. He walked over to the sideline. He had a chance to redeem himself, and he makes a key takeaway against Ben Rubier. And there's Holmes. Watch this defense, this midfield defense. It's just strength. Nice little hammer, cross-check to the midsection of Rubier. Ball's dislodged, and you're fundamentally sound with it. Holmes, a terrific 3-sport athlete, one of the toughest kids that I have ever seen in the Baltimore area, and I've lived in Baltimore since the late 80s.
Let's go.
As I said earlier in these huddles, zone or man? First of all, recognize what the other team's in.
Everybody know to get back in. I trust you to play defense. He's gonna bounce. Grab it right. Grab it. You're sneaking, but you also have back up. So you don't want to steal back up. This is it.
We can't ask for much more. We're coming.
Someone will become a hero in sudden victory. The question is who and for what team? Because a bid to the national semis is on the line. Bud Petit, who left the team in 2006, thought this year he should have been the starter. Had a long talk with his coach, Dom Starsia. Had a list printed out from his computer on why he should be the starter and not Adam Gittleman. But the 24-year-old Bud Petit in the nets. Now, when it matters most, he'll take on this young Maryland attack in overtime. Will Petit stand tall is the question. Winner to Foxborough. Ritz climbs a ladder. Dangerous pass, here's Sieverts.
Maryland's made a change on attack. Brett Weiss is in the game behind the goal. And not Ryan Young.
Catalino, the big guy, gets free and sends a laser beam over the crossbar, way off cage, backed up by Dan Gruden. Brett Weiss, the freshman from Baltimore, as he plays on extra man. 26 in red. He's impressive. The big goal last week against Denver in the first round. Around the perimeter of the box they'll go here. Sieverts. Reed. Weiss for Ritz. Catalino. Reed again. Ritz to the goal line. It's the return pass, the senior captain. Watched by Nisley. Here's Dan Groot. An All-American a year ago. Ritz calls out the signals here. About halfway through sudden victory overtime. Sieverts feeds Catalino. Weiss with it. High pass for Sieverts. Thought about a crank. Catalino gets free. Dodge move, spin. His shot deflected. Who's closest to it? An effort by Petit. But Ritz is there by a strider with Bud Petit. And Maryland a chance to re-trigger.
Referees give Bud Petit ample time to get back in the goal.
Next goal wins. Sieverts for Catalina. 1-2 to go, first overtime. Dan Groot. Sieverts. Weiss is cutting. Catalino's their leading scorer. Weiss spins, high slot. Shot deflected away. Ball loose on the ground. Pomper going for it. Anyone's ball in front of the cage. Comes away to Max Pomper. Weiss on the ride. Groot all over a big push. Ball loose on the ground on the far side. Picked up by Timms. He'll just lob it downfield. Loose ball, anyone can get it. Billings a sprint for it. So is Sinoski. It's finally out of bounds. And Virginia gets it back. What an exchange. As Maryland never even got a shot on.
Starts with just a gorgeous ground ball play by Max Pomper. And then Timms, his only chance is to just heave the ball downfield at the other end. The pressure was applied to Sinoski. That was three different guys from Virginia securing this possession.
Ground ball to you, right there, Max Pomper.
Huge play by the freshman defensive short stick mini, Max Pomper. Brilliant in helping get the ball out of the defensive end. Now Virginia, over a minute to go in sudden victory overtime, has a chance again to win it. Rubier looks to X. Ladding will set it up. Here comes the double team. Carter slid out of the cage. Dan Rubier, right-hand cradle. Watched by Ryan Adolph. Under a minute to go. Spin move, left hand, in front he goes. Romney spins, shoots, and sends it over the cage. Another chance to win it. Well, Brian Carroll just missed the target. He's out there with Peter Lomedy. He had that shot at the end of regulation. Going down toward 30 seconds. Sudden victory. Billings the pick. Rubier free shoots. He scores! Ben Rubier has won the game for Virginia. They are going to Foxborough and the national semifinals.
Rubier turns the corner left-handed, and I think that Jason Carter, partial screen, you see Holmes shows the double, doesn't go. Carter kind of loses his balance, and Rubier hat trick celebration off to Boston.
Our Pontiac game-changing performance.
The pick behind the goal, Dave, gives Rubier the step right there. A little confusion defensively, just enough of a seam. Nice little bounce shot.
The All-American and Tewaarton Award Final 5 player. Puts Virginia into the national semis for a 19th time in school history. They'll leave for a 5th time.
That'll be about the third quarter of the next game. So everybody to the bus at 4:30.
They win 8-7 over Dave Cottle's hard-fighting Maryland Terrapin team. Rubio the hat trick. He scores the last 2 goals. For his coach today. About 8.5 to go in regulation, and then the game winner. And how about Virginia Queen in OT? 4-0 this year. When it matters most, the Cavaliers stand tall.
Their most experienced, their most veteran, their most clutch guy who sets the emotional tone for the team delivers at the season's most important point. The payoff, you get to play next week on national TV in front of 50,000, and Dom Starrs has been there before.
The 2 seed now 14-3 on the year. They win the rubber match with Maryland. 3rd game, they take 2 of 3, and they advance the
Virginia, of course, down there in the bottom, 8-7.
Welcome to the NCAA Lacrosse Championship, presented on ESPNU by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. After this game, all 4 spots in the men's lacrosse championship weekend will be set. The final ticket punch today here in Ithaca. Notre Dame matches up with Syracuse. Earlier today, Duke blew the doors off Ohio State's hopes to win a national title, hammering the Buckeyes 21-10. The Blue Devils join Johns Hopkins and Virginia in the semifinals. Hey, lacrosse fans, welcome back to Cornell, Schollkopf Field, Ithaca, New York. Great to have you with us. Dave Ryan, Quinn Kesnick alongside. A disastrous 2007 season for Syracuse. By their standards, Quint, this was tough. The long streak, 24 years of making the NCAA tournament ended, but they're back with a vengeance this year. The question is why?
Well, the coaching staff looked in the mirror. They made some subtle adjustments. They changed the attitude of the team. Complacent no more. They became a hard-working team. Look at the difference this year in the defense. That's the best defense Syracuse has had since 1970. Great face-off work, goaltending, and an attitude adjustment. They put a lot more time in terms of their fitness, their conditioning. This year, it's all about Danny Brennan, #1 face-off specialist in the nation, winning in the upper 60% zone. He's been battling some hamstring injuries. His health is key today. John Galloway, freshman goaltender from West Genesee. Big improvement from last year, especially in the clearing game. But the constant this year has been Mike Lavelle, Tuarton finalist, the lefty from Albany, New York, and he has been the outright leader of this team.
Now you talk about Notre Dame. Their head coach, Kevin Corrigan, told us this week in the first round last week against Colgate, his team was outplayed thoroughly. But in the rain and muck in South Bend, they rallied and won in overtime.
Yeah, I think they played tentatively last week against Colgate. They got off to a slow start. They were out-hustled early. But when they needed to, when the game mattered, it was Pagoni with a big goal, and then in overtime, Peter Crispin alley dodged down the wing and somehow beats Tim Harrington of Colgate. They survive and advance. Now, I think for them to pull off the upset today, Joey Kemp, their goaltender, has got to be incredible. This is a kid who's vying for first-team All-American honors, second in the NCAA goals against. They have a very good defense, a very fundamentally sound defense, but Kemp, if he gets on fire early, look out, because this kid is perhaps the best goalie in the country.
A huge challenge for Joey Kemp and the Notre Dame defense. They take on Syracuse, the second best offense in the country. Who's #1? Duke. And we saw what they did today already.
They pick up touchdowns, pick up the pucks, and pick up their teams.
That is Regis McDermott, junior defenseman from Amityville, New York on Long Island. Second straight year he has been the designated bagpipe player. Tradition for Notre Dame lacrosse to walk onto the field as they do today here in Ithaca. Quint, let's take a look at today's Dick's Sporting Goods key players to watch.
Captain Alex Wharton patterns his game after Ryan Boyle. He's got 30 assists this year. Michael Pagoni, the best midfielder for the Fighting Irish, 23 goals. And Doherty, an elite defender. He'll cover Mike Lavelle. Lavelle, Mr. Consistency, 42 goals this year. How about Stephen Brooks? 5 game-winning goals this season. And Matt Abbott, the human clear. He is Mr. Everything for the Syracuse team. 61 ground balls, 16 points, and his impact is everywhere.
We have our top 2 face-off men in the nation. Danny Brennan of Syracuse on the left. Taylor Claggett from Notre Dame on the right. 67.3 and 64.5%. This quarterfinal underway. First ground ball, Matt Abbott of Syracuse trying to find the handle in traffic. He'll play back to the defense, Evan Brady. And the orange in the home whites as the 3 seed, the higher seed of these two teams. Notre Dame has made one trip in school history to the national semifinals, 2001. They lost in College Park, Maryland, to Syracuse. The orange ended up losing to Princeton that year for the championship.
A couple Syracuse keys. I believe they have more depth of scoring. I think their second midfielders can make a big difference today. And then be patient on defense. Might sound surprising, but the way Notre Dame is so patient on offense, it's important for Notre Dame to be patient as well. They have to be able to defend for long stretches of time.
Loftus, top of the box, crisscrossing with Dan Hardy from Tully, New York, just north of where we are here in Ithaca. You drive down from the campus, you pass Tully, Hardy's hometown, Lafayette, hometown of Josh Amadon. Cortland, Homer, the hometown of Joel White. A great freshman pole for Syracuse. Here's Stephen Brooks. Right-hand cradle, split dodge, top of the box, looking for that first shot of the game. Brooks got the howitzer, goes behind the goal for Lavelle, it's lost. Ball on the turf. Picked up by Sean Doherty, and here comes Notre Dame on the move. Davey Malera will dance into the offensive end, and Notre Dame will have its first possession.
Couple keys for the Fighting Irish. I think they're going to have to invert, put their middies behind the goal to draw double teams and get good offensive chances. And then they have to win the ground ball game today. Be the hustling team. That will allow them to control tempo. They want a slow down type game.
Peter Crispin, top of the box. Hero last week against Colgate. Pass, shot. Pagoni missed the target. Backed up by the Fighting Irish. Head-to-head with John Galloway, the freshman from West Genesee High School. Quint mentioned him top of the broadcast. What a season this rookie has had. Nothing short of miraculous, taking over for Peter Colaccini this year. Hardy trail check, nails his man, Grant Krebs. Dan Hardy going head-to-head with Kevin Corrigan, a graduate of Virginia. The graduation for the seniors at Notre Dame took place on this campus, the Cornell campus, yesterday, because the normal graduation ceremony is going on at South Bend yesterday, but of course the lacrosse team on the road will tell you the story. Now, the Fighting Irish getting their diplomas at an Ivy League school. But they are alums now. Swayze crisscrossing behind the net with Alex Wharton. He is a captain and one of the top scorers offensively for Notre Dame. We spoke with Joey Kemp and Wharton this week from their South Bend campus. Very confident they'll be able to match with Syracuse, at least in terms of the defense. They've got one of the best defenses in the nation. Crispin feeding, Swayze can't handle it. Beyond his reach, turnover, and Syracuse gets it.
Execution of one of the keys, be able to defend for long stretches. And that was a Syracuse defense who just dug in behind Joel White and Dan Hardy. It's a long possession.
Sid Smith from Matt Abbott, Nottingham High School in Syracuse. Abbott leads this team in ground balls. He's perhaps, as John Desko, the head coach, told us this week, the most valuable player Syracuse has had this year. No, he doesn't put up big numbers, but a ground ball machine, a clearing machine.
Wings of the face-offs, he's about as good as it gets. Clearing, anytime you make a stop or save, he plays man down. He's a substitute on the extra man offense. He is terrific. He reminds me of an old school midfielder, the guys back in the 70s and 80s.
Nims passing, up the doorstep, Parrott shut down. Pat Parrott got blasted. And a push call against Notre Dame. Hans Wittelsberger joined by Tom Brannick, David Seidman, the officials today.
Top of your screen, good opportunity. Parrott all alone, pushed by Regis McDermott, the bagpipe player.
I like that. He did a good job on the bagpipes. Javon Miller, here's Parrott. Missed most of last season off-field school and team rules violation. Had to leave school, re-enroll after spending some time at a community college on Long Island. Worked at a sporting goods store and got himself refocused. Had some troubles off the field. Abbott, bounce shot, score! Matt Abbott, blistering shot off the turf. Syracuse draws first blood.
Fans have something to cheer about, and there are a lot of Orange fans here. You know, I love the way he uses this wet AstroTurf surface. So important when you're shooting early in the ball game to take good shots. That impacts the goalie's confidence. You know, Kemp wants to get off to a good start. And That's why we talked about Abbott. His influence is everywhere. He's maybe the most complete midfielder you're going to see in the college game.
Played varsity lacrosse at Nottingham High School in the city of Syracuse from 8th grade on. Here's a Bulldog. Here's Javon Miller, who played at CBA in Syracuse Christian Brothers Academy. And the Orange, when they score first, nearly unbeatable. 2 losses this year. 1, Quinton I called it. Konica Minolta.